Silverstone Media TV. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Silverstone Media TV. Let's talk.
Hi, I'm Caroline Stevens and this is Let's Talk. Well, today we've got someone really special on the show. What can I say about him? Welcome to the world of Simon, also known as Showbiz. I've got his bio in front of me and I'm just reading it and it's just amazing. I mean, what a versatile career. An actor, a presenter, a producer, an entertainer. Oh my God, so much.
So without further ado, here's Simon Gross.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Let's Talk. So good to have you. How's life been treating you?
Yeah, it's good, you know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're all in this together, really. Us, you know, especially people in show business and the industry. It's a question of just making the most of every day, and every day passes, and hopefully things will get easier.
Well, hopefully. I mean, the entertainment industry has really been badly affected. I mean, I know every industry has, but you know, for entertainers, singers, musicians, actors, I mean, it just like literally stopped.
Yeah, it has. I think our industry has been really badly hit. I mean, everybody has been badly hit by this pandemic, Caroline, but I think people in show business, in the industry, I mean, there's so many talented people that are just not working, and it's just so sad that, you know, it's been taken away from us and the world, entertainment. And yes, it will come back. We know it will come back, but the question is, how will it come back, and will it ever be the same?
Oh, well, how and when? That is the two questions, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, darling. I really don't know. I mean, I've discussed this with many, you know, colleagues, musicians, singers, entertainers, actors, and nobody knows exactly when or what's going to happen. I mean, is it going to totally be finished, or when it does come back, is it going to come back in a different way?
I mean, I think take the West End, for example. You know, so many, both of our friends that work in the West End every night. The West End will come back, but will the West End ever look the same? And the same for regional theatre throughout the country. Our audiences are going to have the sort of confidence to go back and sit in a theatre and enjoy the theatre like we did like in 2019. And that is the interesting question that I talk about all the time, is the theatre will come back. It has to come back, but you know, it's just how quick it will come back, and when people will have the confidence to go to the theatre and enjoy it. I mean, you know, television land is starting up again. I mean, there are shows being made, skeleton crew, but they are being made. So, you know, there is that. But I mean, as you know, being a live performer and me, there's nothing like a live audience and the magic of being in theatre.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, how will it come back? It's going to be different.
What?
It will be different.
You actually made a very good point, which is a point that I think about is the audience. I mean, let me put it this way. When we get a chance to come back, us as entertainers and performers, actors, musicians, we would just go out there and we'll give the same performance and we'll be so happy to be back. However, how is an audience going to feel? I mean, are they going to trust themselves in a theatre, in a closed space, you know, in an auditorium? Are they going to be worried? Are they all going to still be wearing masks? I mean, how are they going to feel? I mean, at the moment, on another sort of level, it's like flights. I mean, even if I could fly today to some, you know, lovely destination, at the moment, I wouldn't want to get on a flight. I'd be nervous. So when those audiences can come back and when we can perform again, will they be nervous?
I think there's always going to be, people are always going to be nervous about this pandemic, even with the vaccines that are coming in, people get vaccinated. I was talking to a friend of mine, she's in her 80s, 83. She's had her first vaccination. So I said to her, Caroline, does that make you feel better now, more confident about going out and trying to get back to normal a little bit, knowing you've had a vaccine? And she went, no, it doesn't. It makes me feel worse. Because what
That's
she's
the
saying now
biggest
is
worry.
people when they have had the vaccines are gonna, a lot of them, oh, it's all right now. I'm not saying we will, but people, oh, it's okay, I've had my vaccine, I can get back to normal, and then before we know it, we're back to square one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I hope to be, it won't happen. But going back to theatre, I mean, if you think about it, majority of, let's take London for example, majority of the West End is dominated by people coming on coach trips down to London to see shows in the West End,
Oh, of
or
course.
people from around the world. How is the West End going to survive with people, with audiences, with just people within the London, travel? It's just,
You know what?
It's just not.
We just don't know, do we, Simon? We just don't know. I mean, it's like life in general. And my mum, God rest her soul, used to have a saying like, "Oh, let's play it by ear." Whatever you ask, "Oh, play it by ear." But we literally do have to play it by ear on this one, because even the scientists, the virologists, I mean, even those top guys don't know. So how are we supposed to know? We just don't know.
Nobody knows, and this is what's so worrying for the industry. It's like trying to plan. I mean, we can talk about it. I was due to do Panto last Christmas, and the Panto was postponed because we couldn't go ahead because of lockdown for April this year. But how can I start thinking about casting a show for April, which actually is frightening because it's only less than 3 months away.
Exactly.
Actually casting the show, promoting the show, and it all costs time and investment. But we are due to go on again in April.
What do you do? I mean, that's a huge decision that you have to make. I mean, if you're the one who is promoting it and investing in it, then you have to make that decision. Is it worthwhile doing it or not?
It is worthwhile doing it, and the fact that I've been doing the Panto in the centre of the West End for the last 13 years.
But what I mean is it worth taking the risk now of making that investment for April? As you said, it's not far away.
It's not far away, but we postponed the show till April because I thought in December, it's going to be the future's going to be brighter and things are going to be better in April. But like looking at it today, I'm thinking we're nearly at the end of January. Are people really going to still want to come and see a Panto in April? Probably not. But we've exchanged tickets and we postponed it. So we're going to do some light promotion for it and test the water and see what happens.
Best thing to do.
Yeah, for every producer, anyone in the industry at the moment, Caroline, is like not being able to plan what you can do because we just don't know what's around the corner. So what we have to do is we just have to, like you, like me, we're motivated, we get up every day and we make things happen. Because I tell you what, just like Gloria Gaynor said, I will survive, you will survive, and
that's a cue for a song.
You can sing it better than me.
Listen, I want to talk to you about something. Big Brother. I mean, what an experience that must have been for you. I mean, what was it like?
Obviously, we're kind of like, we're allowed to say, I'm allowed to say we're a distant family, really, me and you, aren't we, really?
Kind of, yeah.
We are through your brother's wife. That's how we're distant. But my dad said to me, my late father, I don't think you ever met my dad, but my late father said to me, never do Big Brother, never do a reality show. It's the worst show you could ever do. What did I do? I went and did Big Brother. So cutting a long story very short, in 2014, I got down to the final for X Factor. A producer contacted me and said to me, I think you'd be great for the X Factor, obviously the comedy act, the novelty act. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I went to Wembley and I queued for hours one Easter Sunday and I got through basically to the final for boot camp. I didn't get the show. It was the year, I don't know if you remember Stevie Ritchie, but he got it that year.
Not really. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of reality shows.
No. So anyway,
Wow.
so I did the X Factor. I got that far, but I didn't get the show. And then what happened was I got called into Big Brother, because Big Brother and the X Factor, a lot of these shows, they work together. And I had
Cool.
a meeting with the casting producer. That was in the January of 2015. And I was asked to do the show. And my father, he passed away in the February, and I'd already kind of like been sort of targeted to do the show, and I felt it was the right time to do it. I think doing Big Brother, it's not just about being on television and being known, because it does create a platform, Big Brother, but you have to do it for you. You have to want to do it for you, because it's really a challenging,
Yeah, I
tough
can
show to
imagine
do.
it's really challenging.
Oh,
I mean, do you
very challenging.
really? I mean, I know what we see of Big Brother on the TV. It all looks like that you all, can see everything. You'll go to the toilet and you sleep, and there's someone sleeping next to you, and everybody knows everything, and everything's open. But is it really like that, or is that just for the benefit of the TV cameras and the public?
It's really like that. It's so claustrophobic. It really is really tough.
Wow.
Like one day, I literally went from every single room to get away from everybody, because I needed to be on my own. And the same people that I tried in particular to get away from, do you know what? They ended up right in the same room next to me. It's horrendous.
Wow.
It's very claustrophobic. You
Yeah.
can't escape. You're completely thrown into the tigers, and you have to survive that environment.
Now, were you allowed a mobile phone while you were in the house?
No, definitely not. Absolutely not. They take your phones. We go into hiding. I went to hiding for a week. They took my phone off me in hiding. I wasn't allowed my phone in the
You
hiding.
can't even phone your family or your loved one or nothing. Oh my God.
You leave and you go into a car. They take you to the hotel, and then they take your phone off you. They take all your watch, everything. Even in the hotel when you're in hiding, they don't want you to have any contact with the outside world, any knowledge of time. They take your phone off you because things get leaked out while you're in
Of
hiding, and then
course,
family
of
members
course.
tell you, and that's in their
Well,
fight to death that you're
you,
gonna,
you know
you
what,
know.
Simon? I've now actually got a lot more respect for all the participants in Big Brother, knowing those, that they have to really do it under those circumstances. Right, now, another TV show that you did, Hell's Kitchen. I mean, tell me more, tell me more.
Well, Hell's Kitchen was actually easy compared to Big Brother. The only thing about Hell's Kitchen was it was sleep deprivation. I was so tired in that show. Whereas Big Brother, you do get some sleep. Hell's Kitchen was my first taste of reality. I mean, we both know each other quite well. I've been going at it for years, and I think these reality shows, they come up sort of like, certainly in 2005 when I did Hell's Kitchen, they were very big then, and I just thought, I wanted a taste of the reality. Cooking is something that I'm terrible at, the worst cook in the world, can't cook anything. And my
Oh, good,
partner
great
actually said,
cook.
I can't cook nothing. My partner said to me, go on, why don't you audition for Hell's Kitchen? They're looking for people, and it's going to be a big show, and I think it'd be good for you to improve your cooking skills. So I went and auditioned for it, and I got. They loved me. They liked my personality. They thought I'd be hilarious in the kitchen.
You was hilarious.
Oh, it was awful, horrendous. I couldn't cook, I couldn't make anything. And of course, the late Gary Rhodes was my chef. I was in the Red Kitchen with Gary Rhodes. And you remember Gary
Of
Rhodes?
course, lovely guy.
He was so awful to me, but so lovely to me with a wink in the eye. He was just hard on. It was really hard. Like everything I did was terrible. It was thrown on the floor. Sometimes he would throw my food on the floor. I remember I made an apple pie one day and I didn't do the pastry right or something, and he just said, "That's absolutely terrible. Do it again!" And he threw it all on the floor, and then I had to do it again. And like
But did you
everything
have
I
to pick
made,
it up off the floor?
yeah, and I had to make it again. Yeah. And do you remember the bit with the egg yolk when I couldn't distinguish what an egg yolk was and the egg
I know,
white? I
so
couldn't.
crazy.
crazy.
It was a really hard show to do in the fact that you're cooking, which is what it was, and it put me off cooking. I hate cooking, and I've never really been able to cook since, to be
Right.
honest with
So,
you.
I mean, now you're on lockdown, no restaurants are open. So what do we do about food if you can't cook?
I've got somebody that can cook for me.
Oh, well, you've got it made. You've got it
Go
made.
to Marks and Spencer's and get a ready meal instead.
Of course. Marks and Spencer's was made for all people who can't cook.
I did learn some stuff because I actually couldn't believe it, but I actually lasted like really right up until the final. They got rid of me just before the final, and I couldn't believe it. I actually thought I was going to actually get into the final for that show.
They probably knew. They probably knew that you wouldn't be able to cook the finals menu. That's what it was.
Entertainment, and it was very challenging show. I did 2 reality shows. I don't want to do any more reality, but I did 2 reality shows that were both probably the fiercest reality shows on television, apart from SAS Who Dares Wins. That's a hard show.
Yeah, I know, that is really, really hard. I was just going to ask you that question, any more reality shows for you, but you've already answered it. So what's in the pipeline for you then? I mean, what's going to happen?
Well, there's lots of things in the pipeline, Caroline. I mean, I am up for some other shows. When I say I don't want to do any other reality, I don't want to just do any reality. I think the thing about reality television is you can get pigeonholed into being a bit of a reality. I don't want to say reject, because I'm not. I think you can be pigeonholed into that, and I think I've got so much more than just being on Big Brother. I trained as an actor. Yeah, I went to Guildford School of Acting. I've trained as an actor. I've done my apprenticeship. I've worked in the days of repertory theatre. I've done that, and I think I just don't want to just be targeted as being a reality TV personality, which a lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I just think
and they have a career out of it.
They do, and then I will do another reality show, but I want to do a good reality show.
Yeah, but I guess it's got to be the right one now, hasn't it? I mean, any ideas for a new reality show?
I've been actually asked. I can tell you this. I've been actually I've been asked to do a new show very similar to RuPaul's Drag Race. You know RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah, of course. Great.
I'm targeted to host a new show, which is going to be hopefully coming to Amazon. They've got a station which they're going to be launching, which is going to be happening in June. So that's going to be announced actually quite soon.
Brilliant.
And I've actually been asked to host it. So, it's going to be quite nice to do another show that's very similar to RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, we always needed a good drag type competition.
We do. TV really, really needs it. Really. I mean, I love drag shows. I watched an amazing movie last week on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it, called Stage Mother. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Right, you've got to look up Stage Mother. It's an amazing movie. It's about this mum and dad who live like really down south in the States, and the father is like homophobic and really terrible. The mother is kind of a little bit. They have one son who's gay. He leaves home, goes to San Francisco, and becomes a drag queen and opens this fabulous nightclub. And then he dies. So the mom and dad get the news that he dies, and the dad refuses to go to the funeral, but the mom goes to the funeral, and while she's there she gets told that the gay club, he left it to his mum and dad. The dad doesn't want to know, but boy does that mum take that over. You've got to watch this movie. It's brilliant. I mean, I laughed and I cried. It was so good. So good.
Okay. Yeah. I'll look that up.
I think you will love it.
Drag's amazing. We need a really good drag review. I mean, you remember Madame Jojo's in Soho.
Of course.
Oh, I bet. Oh, what a great venue. And London needs another drag venue, a
It
really
does.
good class drag venue. I mean, I have actually, so anyway, I'm doing this show for Amazon, which is going to be announced soon. And I was in talks before Christmas with a very big venue, which is a lovely venue in the centre of London, which I don't know if you've seen yet, called Proud Cabaret by the Embankment.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
If you'll come to London, I'll take you there. And
Yeah.
it's just like a old-fashioned cabaret club. It's beautiful,
Do you
and they're
know what?
interested in.
Have you ever seen that movie Birdcage? Not the original, which was fabulous, but the movie with Robin Williams and what's his name? I love him, Nathan Lane.
I have seen it actually, yeah.
You have to watch that. And every time, it's one of my favourite movies, and every time I watch that, I say to myself, I wish there was somewhere like that to go to, because I'd be there all the time.
I was in discussion with them before Christmas about doing a new drag review, a proper drag review in the West End, like Madame Jojo's. So that's another thing that's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
I mean, as we said earlier, television, theatre, everything is very minuscule, very, very skeleton at the moment. And
It's
going to be like that. So I've got my own online show that I do. I do a lot of work with New Magazine, Best Magazine, OK Online, all the nationals. So I basically do a lot of, like we're doing today, sort of interviewing, chatting to people from reality TV shows, sitcoms.
Fantastic.
So I'm doing.
So you're keeping yourself busy, basically, like me. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Sorry, I was going to say, first of all, thank you for taking out some time of your day to talk with me. I really appreciate that. And also, I was going to say to you, if there's any budding, before we sort of wrap this up, is there any advice you could give to young budding actors who want to, break into the industry? I mean, especially at this, at this time with a pandemic going on. I mean, what would you say? How would you mentor a young actor?
I think the world's changed, Caroline, and I think anybody that wants to go into the theatre industry in particular, you've got to be very, very thick-skinned, very tough now, and sure that's the industry for you, because it's undecided. No one knows where the next job is. There's a lot of talent. Remember, there's all the talent in the West End not working, let alone all the other out of work people with great talent, cruise ships, people from hotels. There's so many people in a very, very crowded industry that we are in now. And I keep saying it, only the strong will survive this. I think they have to have a very, very thick skin, very tough shoulders on them, and really, really be sure that that's what they want to do their apprenticeship, anything. Start off working for free. Go and do interviews with people. Go and do adverts for nothing. Go and do improvisation in the street. Go and sing in anywhere. Get your experience. Get talking to people. Be nice to people. Always be nice to people, because you'll need them when you're going up. Because
of course.
Be nice to people. But more than anything, I think, you might understand this, the industry has changed. In the olden days, we had to work very hard. We had to work hard. And I think hard work, being nice to people, thick skin, thick shoulders, and very, very sure that's what you want to do. I think that's how you can survive going forward. And that's the advice I would give. Yeah,
I take that on board. And I hope everybody who's watching, who wants to be an actor or a singer, performer, takes that on board as well. I mean, but you're right. I mean, it's like me. When I started, I started doing working man's clubs, 3 sets a night for like 20 quid, but you just went and did it. I went with my guitar and I went to one club, did a set, come out, went to another club, that's what we did. We did our apprenticeships, and that's what's, made us who we are now.
Your family is successful. Your lovely brother Eric, he was so successful, and you had another brother or cousin that was in 40 Towers, didn't you?
Oh, my cousin Brian, yeah, he was an actor. He was in a lot of films, McVicar, all those sort of villain films. But he was also the chef, funny enough.
I know.
in 40 Towers.
I know, yeah, and you did. But the thing is, with you guys, is you're talented. You did your apprenticeship. Same with me. I did my apprenticeship. I've done working men's clubs, and you get a lot of people now that say, "I don't want to work in working men's clubs.
Why
I don't want
not?
to work in. I don't want to sing to old people in care homes." But you know what? I mean, I employ people all through the year to go into care homes and work in shows, and they're earning sometimes £500-600 a week plus their petrol. Don't snub it, because I tell you what, they're the kind of shows and the work that's
Absolutely. 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 And on that note, do you want me to sing in a care home?
I'll sing in a shed if I had to, Caroline.
You know,
do a duet in a care home, but if it pays the bills and it gets you out there, you know what? I would do it, and I have done it, and I would still do it, and I would give that advice to anyone coming into the industry. You can't be snobby now. You've got to be able to roll your sleeves up and get on with the job.
Get on with the job. Absolutely. Do you know what? My husband, David, he was in a band, you know, a pop group, Clem Curtis and the Foundations. They had quite a lot of hit records at the time. I mean, he's still in the music industry. He's a record producer now, and he's producing a lot of great stuff. But, you know, he always says a performance is a performance. Like, he could go and do a concert at Wembley for, I don't know, whatever the pay was, which was a lot of money in the day, and then a mate would ask him to come and play keyboards in the local pub in Ilford for fish and chips or for like a tenner, and he said he would do it and he would give exactly the same performance. It doesn't matter what you get paid, it's the performance that matters.
And I think that's the attitude I've got. I treat every show like the first show. That's my motto. Every audience is my first audience, and I give that to any advice that anyone comes to work.
That's fantastic.
That's the way you've got to be, but you've got to remember that we're talking about we're old school, 30, 40 years ago, when I have to say the industry was in a lot better way. Things were a lot better, a lot cleaner, and if you didn't know your script or your lines or whatever, you'd be out. You'd be kicked out the rehearsal room, and you'd have to get it right. Otherwise, you would be sacked. You'd be taken off the job.
Different days.
Different day, but gosh, I do miss those days. I really do. And like
I do. You know what, Simon? I do miss those days. I have to admit, I do. But on the other hand, I have moved on. You know, because I think that you have to, especially as a songwriter, record producer, like I am as well. You know, you have to move on with what's happening today. The whole system's different. The whole way the music industry works is different. I mean, years ago, you had to have a record deal with a major label. Now you don't need a label. Kids are making great music in their bedrooms and releasing it on themselves on iTunes. I mean, the whole industry, the entertainment industry has changed. But the main principle is we've got to have talent.
You do have to have talent. You're absolutely right. Especially in the music industry, it's cutthroat, it's tough. I don't know enough about it, but I'd imagine it is. It's hard to survive in it. But you do need to have the talent, and you've also got to have determination and strength as well, I think.
And believe in yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah, but it's very easy in show business to be dejected, to feel that you're worthless, to feel rejection is something that I experienced all through my career. You know, and I think it's hard to take rejection because I was watching something on television the other night, and on The Voice. I don't really watch The Voice, but they were saying that if they used to, will.i.am, for example, when he got rejected, he used to say, well, why me? Why are you rejecting me? You're making a big mistake. And I think deep down we all feel that when we don't get an audition or a casting. We think, well, you've made a mistake. Why have you cast that person? Because I'm better. And I think you have got to think that. You've got to think that you're the best thing and that you can do the job, and being able to handle that rejection, because a lot of people can't handle rejection. It's a hard thing to do.
They can't. Absolutely, that's so true. That's so true. I mean, with me, when I was younger, believe me, I was rejected many times from different record labels or different management companies or whatever they were. And sometimes when I was much younger, like a teenager, I would get very depressed and it would bring me down, and I'd think, oh, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to go and get a job in a shoe shop or something. I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to write songs, you know, and it can put you off. But then I'd go through that sort of down, dark time, And then suddenly something would click in my head, and I think, you know what, sod this, I am talented and I believe in myself, and I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to keep trying. And that's what I think you've got to do today. Believe in yourself, believe your worth, and keep going.
You've got to believe in your worth. You've also got to be very proactive as well. You've got to think of things, how to reinvent yourself. I'm always reinventing myself all the time. Like tonight, I'm interviewing the Housewives of Jersey, this new show on the UK. Next week, I'm doing something else, and then I'm doing something else. And I'm thinking, well, what can I do to do that? You've got to be proactive, especially in this pandemic, Caroline, like you are, like I am. You've got to be proactive. You can't expect the phone to ring, an agent to ring and offer you loads of work, because I tell you what, all the agents are struggling as well, really struggling.
But you've done some amazing things. I mean, you've sent me some great photographs of you, you know, in drag and looking beautiful in that light pale blue suit. That's so gorgeous. I love that picture, and I'm going to show those that's watching, because I want them to see, you know, you in your gear. Look at this blue suit. I mean, I just love it. Sky blue is my favourite colour. And this shirt, you always wear fascinating, bright, flamboyant colours. But this is my favourite photo. I just love this one. Thank you so much for spending this 30 or 40 minutes with me, just having a chat.
I think me and you could spend weeks together. We've got so much missed time.
I know, so much to make up for, lost time. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, one thing, in April, when you're doing this new drag show thing, will you come back and talk about it with me?
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk again. I look forward to it. Thank you, Simon. God bless.
God bless.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Silver Storm Media TV. Let's talk. Thank you for watching the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Next Friday at 8 o'clock on Let's Talk, we'll be talking to a man that has fed the NHS nurses and doctors through this pandemic. Let's talk. And still feeding them. So next week, we're happy to have and to talk to Andrew Hart. Let's talk. Don't forget, join and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Silver Storm Media. Silver Storm Media TV. Let's talk.